You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's mixlr.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com. Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, Doge, and more. Cryptocurrencies and digital assets are taking the financial world by storm. This exploding market provides everything a savvy trader needs: volatility, volume, and liquidity, provided you know how to find it. That's where we come in. Welcome to the Crypto Rundown. Each week, we'll break down the latest trading activity, trends, and developments throughout the world's leading crypto derivatives markets. If it's moving the crypto markets, then you'll find it on the Crypto Rundown. The Crypto Rundown is brought to you by Amber Data. If you're entering the digital asset class, you'll need access to granular on-chain and market data from multiple venues to power research, trading, risk management, and compliance. Amber Data delivers comprehensive data and insights into blockchain networks, crypto markets, and decentralized finance, empowering financial institutions to apply traditional finance methods to digital assets. Amber Data eliminates the infrastructure setup, integration challenges, and maintenance headaches to access digital asset data, reducing cost and time to market to enter the digital asset class. Learn more and download their digital asset data guide at www.amberdata.io. Now it's time to dive into the exploding world of crypto derivatives. It's time for the Crypto Rundown.
All right, everybody. That music means we are back. It is Monday, time to rock out once again with the old Crypto Rundown. My name, of course, Mark Longo from theoptionsinsider.com, as well as from the network upon which all of you folks have been binging these days. Man, you pro folks are having a bounty on the network right now. I, of course, went down to the Options Industry Conference. Why we weren't on for the Crypto Rundown last week, I had to hop on a plane immediately after the option block. So no crypto last week, back after a 1-week hiatus, full of all sorts of goodness from the realm of OIC. If you want to listen to all that, I think you folks on the pro have already gotten some of that in your hot little ear holes out there. Some of the panels and some of my chats I had. We had a bunch of people rotate through the Southern studio last week. That was a good time. Always great to catch up with everybody. This time last year, one of the hot things was the lack of approval for BITO options. We all know how that went. What was the hot thing this year? Well, you got to tune in to find out. And of course, the panel audio coming at you as well. Good stuff over there. So if you're on the pro, you're getting that already. theoptionsinsider.com/pro. Hope you're enjoying it. For the rest of you, A, should be joining us on the pro. It's fun. And B, that will be hitting the network down the road. Stay tuned for that as all of our OIC coverage hits the network. And now joining us today in the old crypto hot seat, our old pal, none other than Mr. Bill Ulivieri from Cenacle Capital Management. Mr. Bill, welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be back. I'm really excited to be here.
What did you do to the market? You just bought it all, Bill.
I am telling you, I think it was the best trade I think we've ever made as a firm. We rebalanced, we reconstituted. We did it on April 9th. And I tell you, I am sitting on my laurels. Now, I know that the market doesn't like to hear that, and I don't want to put the jinx on myself, but so far, for the last, 34 days, I am a happy camper.
Well, I guess dinner's on you the next time we meet, Mr. Bill, as we head on into a little bit of the old Bitcoin breakdown.
It's time to explore the latest trending activity, trends, and developments across the world's leading crypto market. It's time for The Bitcoin Breakdown.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Bitcoin Breakdown, the portion of the program where we break down all the action in the world's leading digital asset, which is Bitcoin. But of course, Mr. Bill, as he just alluded, does also moonlight as a traditional asset manager as well. Mr. Bill, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about this shall we say, aggressive pop we're seeing in the broad indexes on the back of this quote-unquote détente we're hearing whispers about out there on the trade war front. S&P up over 3%. Dow closing in on 3% to the upside, 2.75%. NASDAQ up over 4%. VIX taking a drubbing. Sounds like, Mr. Bill, you didn't quite bite the bottom, but you got pretty darn close, sir. Congrats to you.
You know, it all goes back to the being a long gamma trader at the CBOE, Mark, and I think you'll understand this. I'm in a group with a lot of investment advisors. We get together with a Zoom call once a week, and these guys are traditional investment advisors, and they're very fundamental driven on what's going on. But guys like you and I, man, when the extremes are when the market's at the extremes and the house is on fire, we run toward the fire. We don't run out of the building. We run in it to save lives. And I think that in this particular aspect, and just like now, I'll be honest with you, this rally has me a little bit nervous, and that is we're trading a little bit above a very flat 200-day moving average, and I wouldn't mind selling some at-the-money calls and some slight upside calls and being very careful about the downside cash-secured puts we're doing. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a trading market, and I'm super excited for the next 8 to 10 months. This is going to be, we're going to make some hay, brother. I'm telling you, I really feel it.
Good times to be had by all. Is it good times in the world of Bitcoin? Well, if you were fixated on that 100K level, then the answer is yes. Back north of it right now, 101,863 when we kicked off the show. It's a little bit north of where we were in our last show 2 weeks ago, listeners. We were at 93,954. That's up nearly 8,000 handles, 7,909 to be precise. So Bitcoin getting a little bit back, listeners, after selling off, obviously, in the height of all the madness in April, getting back down to about the 80K level. Did we dip below that? We actually did. We got to about 75,000 out there. So quite the resurgence out there in Bitcoin as well. Mr. Bill, what are your thoughts on this big comeback in the big boy Bitcoin?
Mark, I am thrilled, but at the same time, I have to be honest with you. My expectations for where Bitcoin was going to be, I thought it was going to be much higher. I thought we'd already be in the 150s, 160s, 180s by now, based on our previous conversation. So, yeah, I'm happy it's up. Don't get me wrong. We certainly seem to be clearing the air with the tariffs. Global liquidity seems to be coming on board. The U.S. dollar is just getting smoked. It traded below that 100 par even area, which is an interesting number. Do I think that the U.S. dollar is going to collapse? No, I don't believe so. But everything is happening as it's supposed to. Trade deals are being made, and the deal was we were going to lower our U.S. dollar to provide liquidity and help other countries pay their debts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There seems to be no war in Ukraine, Russia. Things in Gaza, Israel slowed down. We did a number on the Houthis, the pirates, opening up the shipping lanes. So yeah, I am super excited, and I think this is going to be some great opportunity in crypto, because crypto, again, is affected by global liquidity and money coming into the system. And I think that we will see a very impressive close at the end of 2025.
All right, Mr. Bill, looking for some big numbers. Do you agree with that, listeners? Is it going to be a banner year? It's already looking pretty good right now, at least in the last month or so. Year to date, a bit of a different story. A different story on the Vol and Skew front as well. Remember, if you want to check out these numbers for yourselves, only one place to go, amberdata.io, the place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. Gooey, a lot of data, completely free over there now. So you literally have no excuse anymore for why you're not checking it out, listeners. If you did that, you would see that the weekly vol has come in a little bit since our last show. Not much, though. We were already at a pretty low level, so it's going to be hard for Bitcoin vol to break into the 30 handle, let's say, but we're getting pretty close on the weekly front. 43 2 weeks ago, 41 on the weekly vol right now, so starting to get pretty quiet. Again, we are heading into this early summer, late spring period. So bear that in mind. On the 30-day vol front, 43.8 on the show right now, 45.5 2 weeks ago. So coming in about 1.7 points out there. So that's getting pretty low on the 30-day vol level in Bitcoin as well. And the hodlers hanging out 180 days and beyond. They're at a 51.5 on our last show, 50.8 right now. So vol pretty much coming in across the board, but not a ton because we're already starting out at a pretty low level. Let's go out to the Skew front, see if the Skew is pricing in any wild action, listeners. To the weekly Skew we go. We were not even a +1 on our last show, positive 0.75. That has ticked up a little bit, 1.35. Again, that's not much for Bitcoin on the weekly front. Maybe showing a little bit of near-term exhaustion right now, or maybe just taking a pause before the next leg higher. Either way, not pricing in a heck of a lot of juice to the upside. On the weekly front, is that still the case as we go out about a month? And the answer is yes, a little bit more, but still pretty much yes. We were at a positive 1.85 on the show 2 weeks ago, all the way up to a whopping positive 2.3 right now. So slight upside bias, but we've obviously seen Bitcoin have much more priced in. And going out to where the hodlers are hanging out, they're pretty much treading water as well. Positive 3.5 on the 6-month Skew 2 weeks ago. And coming into the show today, just a positive 3. So not much evolution out there on the Skew front. Bill, anything catching your eye on the Bitcoin vol or Skew front this week, sir?
Not so much in the Skew, Mark, to be honest with you, but I'm not disappointed. It's just that, option sellers like you and I, we like high implied volatility. And when MicroStrategy's implied volatility was trading at 150, now it's in the high 60s, low 70s. And when Bitcoin vol was, much higher in the last month, right, or 90 days, I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not getting the juicy sales as we used to get, but I'm okay with that because these things ebb and flow. On the Bitcoin side, we're doing, the cash secured put sales in IBIT and, trading that underlying. So I'm still happy. Don't think I'm not all sour grapes here, but I do dig the volatility. And when things slow down for the summer, typically, and like the rally that we've had, we see Skew and implied volatility just crater. And those are the things that I spend a lot of my time in. So it'll be okay. It all works out in the wash.
Yeah, not the sexiest thing to sell a 42 vol in Bitcoin right now. It's hard to get too excited about that. Let's keep rolling out to the realm of IBIT and BITO, listeners. Some vehicles a lot of you like to trade right now. IBIT at about a 58 when we kicked off the show, up 4.25 points over the past 2 weeks. The ADV, 424,000 contracts a day. It's up nearly 10,000 from our last show 2 weeks ago. So things are looking hot out there on the volume front. Seems like we're probably going to hit that out there today. 360 on the tape already. And in terms of vol, kind of getting back to what we were just talking about, not exactly the sexiest vol number. It's pretty much tracking what we're seeing out there on Deribit, which, by the way, Deribit acquired by Coinbase out there lately. So kind of interesting to see the evolution on that front. Maybe we'll finally be able to have some access to Deribit out there in the near future. That'd be kind of nice. I know for a lot of you, we've been crunching these numbers for years on the show, and hard for most of you to trade it. So kind of interesting stuff. What's the big dog out there in IBIT options right now? It's 16,000 of the May 60 calls, 6-0s. Again, we're at about a 58 right now, so could easily be there by the end of the day at this point. And also the May 60s expiring next week, also going up about 10,000 times out there today. See, those are trading for about, looks like about $1 all the way up to about $1.60 out there. So interesting activity out there. And then Bill's beloved BITO, 21.5 when we kicked off the show, up about $1. So again, that shows you some of the differences we're seeing out there. BITO versus IBIT. IBIT up about 4.25, BITO up about $1. So some people hold some of the tracking of BITO against it. Now it does make up some of that in the ridiculously hefty dividend. So there you have to factor that into the total return, but interesting stuff nonetheless. The ADV 31,000 down about 3,000 contracts from last week. Today about 23,000 contracts on the tape. If you're wondering, the BITO vol showing me at a 24. That seems weirdly anemic. So I need to go dig in to see why the BITO vol is so cheap. That puts it at the bottom percentile for the 52-week vol range out there. That number seems a little low. So if you thought 43 was not rich enough to sell, how about a 24 out there in BITO lands? I think that could be a bit of a glitch in the system. I'll have to go dig around to source that out. But Bill, anything catching your eye in IBIT or BITO land this week?
Well, again, I think the IBIT. Okay, this is what's catching my eye. More conversations I'm having with people who are becoming aware of Bitcoin and the ETFs that are out there and wanting to have it in their portfolio. What I love about people that are into the space is like they don't care if they get assigned on their puts. Like I could sell an at-the-money put, I could sell a slight downside put, I could sell MicroStrategy's Coinbase. If the stock really takes on a good decline, they don't care. They realize that this is a long-term thing. So I'm still buying and accumulating IBIT through the use of the premium that we create from MicroStrategy's and Coinbase sales, the put option sales, or coin. And also BITO, again, BITO doesn't really, I don't get very much input from clients on BITO. It's mostly IBIT and MicroStrategies. That's like the top two conversations of late. So I'm just going to stick with IBIT and MicroStrategies for now. BITO, again, it's okay. I understand. We've gone back and forth over that for 2 years, but it's all good.
Have you delved into the mad waters of MSTU, sir?
No, I've looked at it and I did a great interview with Jay Pesticelli from YieldMat. Yeah, I think, is that right? Did I get that wrong? I'm sorry, MSTU. That's a double beta? No.
Yeah, that's the levered. So if MSTR is too boring for you, then here comes MSTU, levered MSTR. Yes.
No, I'm staying away from that. I'm not going to do those at all.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
I call those products for degenerates. Whenever Greg from Amber Data comes on, he always likes to bring up MSTU, and I always say those products are for degenerates and psychos. That said, Mr. Bill, the ADV in MSTU is up to about 70,000 contracts a day. So apparently there's more degenerates out there than you and I assume, Mr. Bill.
All right. Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will take another look at that. But no, I'm not a huge fan of the double beta ETFs. It's just not my thing. But it's okay. Like everybody, that's why there's a market. That's why there's a bid and a ask. But it's not for me.
So if you don't want to sell a 43 vol in BITO or IBIT, Mr. Bill, how about a 140 vol in MSTU? How about that?
I had a friend who was long the triple beta gold ETF a few years ago, and they had a derivatives problem, and they went from a 3 times beta to a 2 times beta because of whatever the book just blew up from volatility. And so I don't want to. We're taking enough risk and volatility with MSTR and IBIT, like the spot things. I don't feel the need to go to 2 or 3 times beta. And call me old-fashioned, call me a prude, right? But yeah, I'm going to stay away for those for now.
Yeah, I maintain my stance, listeners, that MSTU is a product for degenerates. Come at me if you disagree. I know Greg disagrees, so hit us up as we keep on rolling right on into the altcoin universe.
It's time to move beyond Bitcoin and find out what's moving the rest of the crypto marketplace. It's time to boldly venture into the Altcoin Universe.
All right, welcome to the Altcoin Universe. Looks like our chat agrees with me. They're saying that product is for crazy people. Yeah, it's... Again, no aspersions here. If you like it, you like trading it, you have at it. More power to you. It's just, it's always wild to me when a product that is already pretty volatile like MSTR, people are like, that's not doing it for me. That's not enough for me. Let's go out to the levered side. Always interesting stuff. Is it interesting stuff on the market cap side out here in the altcoin universe? On our last show, listeners cost you about 23.5 almost billion worth of market cap to break into the top 10. That got you to our old pal Tron. How much is it costing this week? Well, that rising tide lifts all boats. 26 billion, almost exactly. That's what it costs you to break into the top 10 right now. That still gets you to Tron. So Tron maintaining its death grip on the number 10 spot. Number 9 this week, listeners, Cardano, 28.5 billion worth of market cap. Number 8, it's Doge, 34 billion. Number 7, USD coin, 60.5 billion. Number 6, it's Solana. Man, coming back to life. 89 billion with the market cap. I know a lot of you were nibbling in our pro chat down at lower levels, 150, 125, maybe even got some at the par level or right around there. In which case, you're happy campers right now. Solana, number 6, 89 billion with the market cap. Number 5, BNB, 92.8 billion. Number 4, it's XRP, 149.5 billion. Number 3, it's Tether, 149, almost 150 billion. Number 2, it's ETH. Man, finally clawing its way back to some semblance of normalcy. I consider myself that 2,500 level in ETH to be somewhere around normalcy. That's also the level where our good buddy Dr. Vix famously exited ETH. It's never good when he has a good sale price. I want him to be regretting it. So got to be above 2,500 in ETH, and we're getting at least close to that again, which is respectable. Nearly 300 billion with the market cap there. And the big dog Bitcoin back at the 2T level, 2.02 trillion worth of market cap. Wild stuff out there on the market cap front, listeners. Did you have a 2T market cap for Bitcoin on your bingo card? Sounds like Bill had even higher. He was looking at 150 for Bitcoin this time. So wild stuff. Either way, we'll take what we can get when it comes to ETH, listeners. It was slumming it at a 1768 on our last show, up nearly 700 handles from that level, 689 to be precise, coming in at 2457 on our show this week. So again, that's more respectable. Obviously, ETH heads want it to be higher. I mean, ETH has been the number one underperforming asset on our futures rundown show for the lion's share of this year. So hopefully this rally at least bumps it down to number 2, or dare I say it, even number 3, because it's been just a horror show for ETH bulls out there this year. Vol-wise, what are we looking at? Looking a little spicier right now. That happens usually when you rally in a crypto, listeners. That's a little bit of the inverse of what you see in a traditional equity. We were at about almost a 67 on the weekly vol in ETH last week, 66.8. Coming into the start of the show this week, 78.1, so ticking up over 10 points on the weekly vol. Looking spicier as well on the monthly vol, listeners. 66 even on the show last week, 70.5. This week's up about 4.5 points on the monthly vol. The hodlers are still kind of hanging out. They were 67.5 on the show 2 weeks ago, 67.3 today, so pretty much treading water there. Skew-wise, looks like maybe the options markets are taking a bit of a pause here as well. Not exactly screaming a ton of upside, so maybe 2,500 is where they think we're hanging out for a little bit. We were a negative 0.5 on the show 2 weeks ago, positive 0.3 right now, so swung to the upside, obviously, but not lighting the world on fire. 30-day Skew, it was literally flat on the show 2 weeks ago. It was pretty much 0.0. You don't see that too often. Coming into the start of the show this week, it is mildly bearish. It's still pretty much flat. It's negative 0.65, not even negative 1. And on the hodler front, positive 3 3/4. 2 weeks ago, 3.65 now, so not much evolution there. Mr. Bill, I guess we can take some solace in the fact that ETH has clawed its way back to 2,500 or pretty close to it. Still a rough year for ETH. What are your thoughts, sir?
You know, still a very rough year for ETH. Absolutely. But I will say that I just saw on social media, I think it was in my Twitter feed, that Vitalik Buterin, who is the creator of Ethereum, said, we need to rebrand ourselves. We need to upgrade ourselves. We're moved too slow. We have other crypto projects are leaping over us. At the same time, the amount of money and time value locked in Ethereum did tick up. So I don't think we should take Ethereum and throw it out. I don't think we should put it at the curb just yet. But while other projects look exciting, Ethereum is still a thing, and people are still building on blockchains that use Ethereum as its core layer 1 network. And theoretically, the value accrues to the network, and Ethereum is still number 1. So yes, we have Solana network. We have the Ethereum network, Arbitrum, which is kind of popular. Other layer 1 networks are still trying to build and catch up to the Ethereum, but we're not there yet. And so I'm okay with Ethereum. I'm going to hodl that for now. And, probably I'm not going to take out a home equity loan to buy more, but let's just see how it goes between now and the end of 2025, when global liquidity again is expected to decline, right? And we should see a market, a decline both in the Qs and equities as well as crypto. So let's just hold on for things until the end of September, October, November this year.
We did have a big upgrade in ETH, a Pectra update, I believe, since our last show as well. So maybe that's also accounting for some of this rally out here, Mr. Bill. Either way, Mr. Bill, I do have good news for you and all the other ETH holders out there. ETH is no longer the worst performing major asset year to date, Mr. Bill. That spot has now been taken by OJ, frozen concentrated orange juice. ETH has fallen to number 2, only off a mere 30.75% year to date. So there you go, Mr. Bill. Perhaps some ray of sunshine for the ETH holders this year, sir.
That is exciting. Can I buy orange juice in IRAs and 401ks? Because, I'm a contrarian. When things are down, I want to run into the building. So thanks for bringing that to my attention,
Bill
Mark.
likes a nice diversified breakfast meal in his portfolio. He's going to buy that, maybe buy a little pork bellies for some sausage. Coffee, I hate to break it to you, a little pricey right now, Bill. So maybe you have to go tea or something else because coffee
we're going to buy 2 orange juice, sell 1 egg contract, sell 1 coffee contract. It's called the crush.
I like it. You got your breakfast spread ready to go, listeners. So there you go, listeners. Breakfast taking the throne to the downside on OJ front. Kicking ETH to the curb. I don't think that's something ETH holders are going to take issue with, listeners. They've been wearing it all year. They don't want to be no one wants to be at the top of that list unless you were short the hell out of ETH, in which case maybe you bought some back. Let's go on out to Solana, on quite the run since our last show. 146.70 on the last show. 171.41. Up almost 25 handles, about 24 3/4 from our last show. So things popping hard out there in Solana land. Again, I hope some of you started to nibble. Maybe you nibble in different ways. Maybe you're diving into those CME Solana futures. We've got, of course, now that those futures are live, we do have ETFs based on Solana now on the futures, not on the spot like an IBIT. But hey, it's a starting point out there. By the way, we've been keeping an eye on the Solana options infrastructure, and it's starting to get respectable, dare I say it again, at least enough volume to start parsing things. Now, we can't go do a full spectrum yet, not enough flow yet to really do it. Your weekly and your 30-day and your 6-month, all that fun stuff. But we can kind of take a running snapshot now of at least the standardized 30-day numbers. We can start to get a feel for how things are shaping up in Solana. If we did that right now, 30-day vol in Solana, Mr. Bill, nearly an 81, so a lot spicier than Bitcoin and even ETH right now. Skew-wise, also biased to the upside, not quite a +3, about a +2 3/4 right now. Mr. Bill, what's catching your eye in the rapidly gaining Solana, sir?
Solana being a very fast blockchain, very fast network. We have everybody who's creating memes and non-fungible tokens are switching over to Solana because of its speed and its lower cost, because it's still kind of pricey minting and sending things in through the Ethereum network. So I love Solana. It's one of my favorites. Raul Pal from Real Vision expects it to trade between $500 and $700 per token this year. It peak banana zone is what he would call it. I love Solana, and I think it is a part of every. I mean, if you're going to create a core position in cryptocurrency, it has to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, probably SUI, SUI, XRP, and a few others that are favorites. So, yeah, love Solana. I think people are building on it, and a lot of projects too. And there's a lot of cross-chain interoperability between Solana and other projects. So that's also very key.
$500 to $700 Solana. I don't think that would make some of our listeners very unhappy, Mr. Bill. I think they would like that quite a bit. 500 level Solana out there. Listen, are you down for that? You down for a little 500 to 700 handle Solana? I know a few of you out there in our pro chat who would definitely be up for that. Let's go out to XRP, Mr. Bill's favorite. Mr. Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you telling me your wife was really in on Solana? Or no, excuse me, XRP?
Yes, and she will never let me live it down because she was trying to get me to buy it like at 30 cents and 50 cents. And I was like, babe, there's not a chance. There's just no way this is going to work. And of course, she was right and I was wrong. The typical theme song of the married man. Okay. And so, yes, she was all in. She was following it on Twitter. She's in these groups. And of course, I didn't listen to her, and I regret that decision. So, yeah, what are you going to do?
We all regret not listening to our wives at the end of the day.
Yes.
Mr. Bill. They are fonts of wisdom, especially post-Mother's Day. Not allowed to disagree with them whatsoever. XRP having a nice run, so Bill's wife would have been happy. 227 on our last show 2 weeks ago. 254 this week, up 27 cents. So XRP on the rampage again. Do you have any XRP in your back pocket for a rainy day? Listeners, Doge, 17.6 cents on our last show. 22.8 cents this week. So rallying hard, up over a nickel out there, just catching that upside run. Litecoin, 85 exactly on our show 2 weeks ago. 101.57, up 16.57 from our last show. It's kind of just, again, this rising tide. It's not even a rising tide anymore. It's a tidal wave just carrying everything with it. Cardano, 69, almost 70 cents on the show 2 weeks ago. 80.4 cents, up a little over a dime. Polkadot, 419, now 507. Even Shiba, a million zeros, 1355 this week, 1575. So there you go. You're getting your lug nuts paid for again on the Shiba Lambos. Bill, you're talking about Sui. Is that still one of your other favorite altcoin, and any other altcoin burning a hole in your wallet these days?
Yes. Thank you for asking. So I need, this is not investment advice, of course, right? So you have to let the listeners, I want them to go to YouTube and do a search for Visa product drop 2025. It's Visa product drop. And it's about an hour and 20-minute long presentation about Visa. And, when we first got into this cryptocurrency space, we said, wow, crypto is going to completely destabilize traditional legacy marketplace. Like, that's why we got into it. And now what we're seeing is companies like Coinbase buy Deribit. We're seeing MicroStrategy's buying Bitcoin. We see Visa now issuing and doing their entire infrastructure on blockchain. And so Visa is partnering with a company called Smart Media, who's going to create basically a universal rewards card. And this is just the beginning of it, right? So this is just my take. So if I have Starbucks points, I can use McDonald's. If I bought things at Target, I can get Dunkin' Donuts with the rewards card. Like right now, every single rewards card program is in its own silo. And Visa's partnering with Smart Media. Smart Media is a technology company that is building all these reward systems, customer retention, non-fungible tokens, smart tokens, all on a what's called a Block V blockchain cryptocurrency, right? So what runs Smart Media is their Block V token. And I think that your listeners should look at Block V. The symbol is VEE. And assuming that if you think Visa is a thing where they've got, 400 million account users globally, where you can now use your NFC, near field communication on your phone. Like, you can be in Africa or in the most remote locations in the world, and you just use your phone. The NFC, you just tap each other's phone or a card to a phone. It's a crazy way for the entire globe to start accepting payments. And it's in blockchain providing the infrastructure for companies like Visa to open up hundreds of millions of users globally. So I just watched the YouTube video yesterday. I'm still doing my due diligence. It's low volume, super low market cap. It has an $87 million market cap. I mean, it's a total lottery ticket, but I think it's really interesting. So you heard it here second.
Looking at it right now, Mr. Bill, it looks like it's about 2.5 cents. Is that the one we're
Correct.
looking at?
Yep, 2.41 cents. Again, please do your due diligence. It could be one of those diamond in the roughs where these companies are building on blockchain tokens that you have to mint and burn, and theoretically, that provides a not an inflationary but a deflationary currency, quote unquote. So, just check it out, and I think it's an interesting project because if Visa's going to do it, Nike's going to do it, and I mean, just the names of the top Fortune 500 companies building things like this. It's the way capital is going to operate on blockchain projects just like this.
There you go, listeners. That music means we've come to the end of yet another fun sojourn through the world of crypto. Listen, that ticker, by the way, VEE, if you want to check it out there, listeners, it's just block V. So interesting stuff out there, trading about 2.5 cents. It was down to about, looks like one of those fraction of a cent ones. And then I had a nice pop in February up to about, looks like over 6 cents, 6.6 cents. I had quite the run down from there, but also up from the year. So interesting stuff. Block V, do you have an altcoin that is catching your eye out there, listeners? By all means, hit us up. Let us know. And Mr. Bill, before we go, if folks want to check out what you have cooking or maybe check out your book, where should they go? What should they do?
Well, the book is for estate planning professionals. That is, I self-publish that on Amazon.com. So just do a search for Bill Ulivieri, and you'll see my book come up. Otherwise, you can hit me up at CenacleCapital.com. Fill out some information in that little form handler, and you can send me a message and subscribe to our newsletter. We have a newsletter that goes out maybe once a month, once every month and a half, and then we started a Patreon channel where we're doing some pairs trading between Bitcoin and gold. XRP versus XCN, Solana versus SUI. So again, we're trying to take the things we learned from the trading floor, apply them in a social media content creation format, and hopefully monetize our experience as OG floor traders. Mark.
There you go. Check him out, listeners. Cenacle Capital, Cenacle, is the place to go to check out Bill when he's buying bottoms, buying the dip. Well done. Congratulations, sir. How often do we get to say that in our career? So,
not too often, my friend.
So you got to take your victory lap when you get it. I understand.
For sure.
Reach out to Mr. Bill if you want to talk about such things out there. And of course, check out our friends over there at Amber Data. AmberData.io are the people who actually bring you the show week to week. Free data, awesome stuff, good newsletters, podcasts, all sorts of fun over there. AmberData.io, the place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. On a side note, it's amazing to see how many firms are just grabbing the .io these days. All the firms, it seems like, that came through the Southern Studio last week at an options conference, all .io. I guess .com is in the past. .io, the wave of the future. Check them out, AmberData.io. The place to go to kick the tires and light the fires. And while you're checking things out, listeners, the clock is literally running out. We only have hours left until the launch of the newest addition to the network, the European Market Brief. It sounds like exactly what it is. We're going to dive deep into the world of European derivatives. The first show is going to be pretty focused on the tariffs, as you might imagine, and all the vol and market action and political and economic instability that has resulted out there. So if you're intrigued by it, you get a special bonus. You get to check out the first one live on video. You got to register to do so, though. Head on over to the website, theoptionsinsider.com. Click on the shows section to go to the European Market Brief. It's a new one. You'll see it right there. And then you scroll down, you'll see a registration tab that will get you in on the first episode. Trust me, good stuff. You want to be there or be square. Then we're back again with the usual array of content until we're back again next Monday, another episode of the Crypto Rundown. Stay safe out there, everybody.
The Crypto Rundown is brought to you by Amber Data. If you're entering the digital asset class, you'll need access to granular on-chain and market data from multiple venues to power research, trading, risk management, and compliance. Amber Data delivers comprehensive data and insights into blockchain networks, crypto markets, and decentralized finance, empowering financial institutions to apply traditional finance methods to digital assets. Amber Data eliminates the infrastructure setup, integration challenges, and maintenance headaches to access digital asset data, reducing cost and time to market to enter the digital asset class. Learn more and download their digital asset data guide at www.amberdata.io. You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network, the home of the Options Podcast. For more quality options programs, visit theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app available in the iTunes and Google Play stores. Select programs are also available via live stream at mixlr.com/options-insider. That's MIXLR.com/options-insider. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, stocktwits.com/options, facebook.com/The Options Insider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.